Hi guys, this is Tek from the YouTube channel Scene, and today I figured maybe we could do something a little different. As you may have noticed, I've been inactive a lot lately. That's because of some personal reasons, as well as the fact that I have developed RSI in kind of both of my arms, both left and right. So basically, using them too much for like computer typing, drawing, really whatever, it hurts a lot. So yeah, I have like exercises and stuff for that, but I won't be able to like animate and whatever for a while. Which is sad. I can sometimes write like little bits and pieces of my stories, but I can't really draw much, especially not digitally. So I figured maybe I could just do a little throwback and do some commentary on my old Tales from the Alps episodes, just because I thought it'd be fun. And this is also, of course, inspired by Icerift's commentary series on Aurora Clan. But I figured this is a nice way to get out some content. Well, I can do much with my arm because this pretty much only requires some clicking. All right, so without further ado, let's get in. My horrible old username. All right. So, going in right ahead. Originally, this episode consisted of like a real intro with some guitar music, and like some scenic shots of the mountains. But the guitar music got copyrighted, so when I re-edited all of the episodes, I cut it out. It was a cool intro. It was kind of catchy. Episode 2 also started that way originally, but yeah, it was copyrighted music, and I couldn't find like a replacement music that's copyright free, so just decided to go with far less scenic shots. Here we have Norder, who is Lynn's father. I know his name is never actually said in the episode, but that's his name. And as you can see right now, he is yellow and brown, which would go on to change later. And the reason, I'm not sure if this is ever explicitly mentioned in the series, but the reason his ears are so big and he's kind of small when compared to other wolves, like One Eye, this is because he's actually a red wolf, which I know aren't supposed to live in Austria, but come on, it's a fantasy series, you know. So here we go. What happened?
Huh?
So,
And where do you think you're...
Here we have Norder again. Very yellowish design, which I didn't like. I see I forgot to color his shoulder on the right side, actually. Kind of sucks. Oh well. This is my very
going, young lady?
I wanted to go into the forest to see.
So Lynn, if you know what she looks like in the rest of the series, she looks very different. She has blue eyes, she has a dark coat, she has no other markings except for dark ears. This is, as you probably might have guessed, it's kind of alluded to later in the episode. It's because like wolf pups, real wolf pups are always born with blue eyes, and they usually have like a very kind of like a darkish coat without too many markings. Like there's no real distinct markings on there yet, which they of course get when they shed their puppy coat and get their adult coat. And for whatever reason, I was really passionate about that, and I just decided to put it in, even though it's like from a character design perspective, it's kind of confusing. And yeah, I don't know, it's confusing probably for the viewer, but I really like getting those kind of details right. So yeah, that's why she looks so different as a puppy. You will also notice with like uh, Daniel and his sister when they are puppies in the flashback of episode 3, they also look different as puppies. So yeah, that's why.
The birds and the ash you've told me about.
Come on, Lynn. You know that you are much too young to go into the forest.
I know.
Alright, so it's really weird to hear my old voice acting. I was like 14 when I was 14 when I recorded this. And I was very bad at pronouncing certain English words. There are like several lines of dialogue that actually had to be cut because I simply couldn't pronounce them. And also, fun fact, Lynn was actually going to be voiced by someone different originally in this episode. Originally, she was going to have a British accent because the voice actor was going to be British. but they couldn't get their lines in on time, so I ended up recording them myself.
I'm going out hunting now. I want you to stay here. Guard the den.
Beautiful four-frame building cycle.
Got it then. It just isn't
Like
fair
that
since
point skip over there where you kind of see your expression skip a bit, that's where one of the lines had to be cut, because I just couldn't pronounce it. I did like 20 takes. I couldn't pronounce it with my thick accents, so yeah. My English got better over the years, of course, but still, it's
the mother is running with the stars, I may never go out again. Now, I can go. I'm a wolf. Nothing beats me.
this I always hated. I gave him a slit pupil, and I'm very adamant about getting those shapes right. And wolves obviously don't have a slit pupil, so yeah. This rabbit is actually his name is Lightning. I know it's never said in the series. Based on the lightning stripe on his forehead. There's two fun facts about him. First of all, he's actually based off a real rabbit I once saw at a petting zoo who had a similar like line on his forehead. So that's cool. Second of all, he was actually going to come back in later in the series in an original draft. Because he was going to become a relevant character, not super relevant, but he was going to become a minor character. He was basically, as you can later see in the episode, he's actually witness to One Eye killing Nodder. And that was actually going to become relevant because he was going to be the one to tell Din that One Eye killed her father, back when that was going to be a plot line. But that was scrapped, and Lightning as a character was mostly scrapped, but he's still obviously in episode 1. Okay, so here we have my favorite boy. I kind of hate him nowadays, but back then he was my favorite. One Eye or Daniel. The glow in his eye was actually done in a different program than Paint. And as you can see, I forgot to draw his scars over here. He's supposed to have like scars over his face, but he doesn't have those. He does have his missing ear tip, which he is supposed to have. Okay, so kind of something I can tell about how I did this, like these drawings. I did everything in MS Paint, pretty much like 99% or like 95% of like all of our ones was run in MS Paint. As you can kind of see with like the roughness of the lines, but I didn't know how to add like backgrounds in MS Paint, like the forest photo backgrounds. So what I did, I drew the picture, and then I would color the background just a single color. Usually it was purple because normally you'd like use a green screen or a blue screen, but a lot of my characters actually have green or blue on them. Like here over here, the bush. So yeah, I used purple most of the time as like a purple screen, quote unquote, which I would then make invisible in my program Pinnacle. And then I would add in the forest backgrounds. And the glowing eye of One Eye here was also done in a different program.
What do you think that you're doing on my territory? This is your role.
Over here, I just try to get like the more realistic wolf eyes, like in Wolf Rain, I guess, but it really doesn't look.
Please warning. Get out.
This like glowing of the claws effect I saw in some other wolf animation back in the day, but I haven't been able to find it since. So I don't know what that's paying tribute to. I'm sorry to say, but I know it's definitely inspired by another wolf animation, which I think was also done in MS Paint. And then, as you can see at this point, I was trying to give Northern like brown ear tips to kind of give him something of Lynn's colors, but I wasn't satisfied.
You really think
those weird pixel things you sometimes see pop up, that's an old rendering issue in Pinnacle Studio. I think it was Pinnacle Studio 14, which I used back then. Some other YouTube animators around this time also used it. I think, if I am correct, Fluffy Lovey and Blaze of Fire Dragon. Some of their episodes of Unknown Blood and The Rise of Scourge, you may also see those glitches. Because I know they use the same program as me, and I think I remember seeing them over there. That's just something the program always did when rendering. It's not something that could really be helped. It was later fixed, but yeah, some episodes, not just by me, but other YouTube animators, I know I have seen this glitch. So that's
Your fake claws can scare me?
alright. So yeah, as you can see over here, I was just so dissatisfied with Norger's yellow colors. I decided to just give him lens colors instead. I did give him green eyes because I wanted to differentiate him somehow. But this just looks much better, especially since he's also supposed to be a red wolf. Kind of more reddish brown colors work better. Um, the thing is also, we don't see Lynn's mother in the series, but she is like grayish brown or gray. Um, so since she didn't look like Lynn, and obviously Nor also didn't look like Lynn, I was like, well, I want one of them to look like Lynn. So Norder gets the brown treatment. And yeah, I'm not fan of how I put the text over here, but whatever. I was just, yeah, too lazy, I guess.
Fine, if you want it that way, let's do it.
Awful shaking effect. I thought it was like supposed to be the wind kind of like shaking him up in the air, but I guess it would have been better if I just animated his fur or something, because this looks awful. And of course here we have the wet squares. That's again the pinnacle glitch. Yeah, over here I drew Norda way too big because again he's supposed to be a red wolf. He's supposed to be small. One Eye is an Eurasian wolf, which aren't the biggest wolf species, but they are bigger than red wolves. So yeah, messed up. This 4-frame running cycle I actually got from a YouTube tutorial of how to animate like an anime warrior cat running cycle, and it only uses 4 frames. But back then I thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. I'm not sure if the YouTube tutorial is up anymore, but I used it a lot back in the day for my running cycles. Pretty much all the episode 1 and episode 2 running cycles I did using that tutorial. Okay, so this bird is Chainsaw, and she is a peregrine falcon. And she, as you can see, she is kind of steampunky. I don't know why I did that. But the thing was, I actually drew her for like an exercise. I was doing a drawing course back then, and they actually, when they brought in a taxidermy falcon, which we had to redraw, but we had to add some kind of twist to it. And I was like really into steampunk aesthetics back in the day, so my twist was like for this drawing, like okay, I'll make it a steampunk falcon. So I did. I added like some gears over here. The wings are partially made out of metal, stuff like that. And after that, I had the drawing complete, and I was like, "Wow, I actually really like this." So I basically just traced over it digitally, and this is the original drawing, by the way. For the original drawing I did just digitally, and then I just decided to color it in and edit as like a minor character in my series. It doesn't make a lot of sense why she's a steampunk falcon. I mean, I know there's like scientific, like science fiction elements in Alo, but it's still a bit weird, honestly. And there Lynn gets the inner chest. I always wanted, like, it's just a character design element I really like is inner chest. So I definitely wanted my main character to have some inner chest. And back in this episode, back in episode 1 and 2, you can kind of tell that Lynn was originally supposed to be the main character, but that later kind of transferred to One Eye. But yeah, this is how she got her.
So, the little thingy thinks she can handle a pure breed steampunk falcon? Ridiculous.
Well, I'm a pure breed wolf. I will kill you for doing that to my ears.
Of course. But maybe you should just know that you look a lot like the wolf I just saw being killed. Huge ears, long legs, but it most likely is nothing.
Okay, so as you can see, we got some beautiful MS Paint blood going on over here. It's almost kind of like glowing due to the green screen effect that kind of blurs the lines a little bit. Um, So yeah, the bone one is holding is actually from, you can kind of see it over here, is from one Norder's leg, which he just kind of ripped off. I don't like how big this injury is, because it definitely should have left a scar, but it didn't in the end. So yeah, I guess I kind of red pulled that.
All right, you win. Before I go, I want to ask you for one thing. Please.
Here you can see again this leg is missing. I guess I never really put that much focus on it. And his ear is missing as well, but it's really inconsistent and all.
Stay away from my daughter.
Right, here you can see a lot of the pinnacle glitches. Those used to be all over the place, and there was nothing you could do to fix it until the program just kind of itself fixed it later on. So yeah, I'm very sorry about those. Nothing I can really do about it, unfortunately.
Daughter?
That is all I am asking for.
Wait.
Yeah, okay, so Norris right now is dead. If you look closely, it's actually pretty funny. If you look closely, you'll actually see that his body moves a couple of times, despite him being dead. Like, he still moves, and I'm pretty sure he's like on his other side when Lynn finds him. So yeah, I wasn't very consistent and all that. Okay, so that sound one I hear right now. I'm not sure if it's clear because it's kind of like muted, but it's Cougar Sneer, and it's supposed to be like calling him back from his mission. But I don't think that was ever like really clear. Like, he isn't being attacked by Silky or anything. She's far away, but she is calling him from a different part of the forest. Like, hey, come back from your mission, dude. The reason he isn't wearing his cybernetic eye is obviously he's like washing himself, and there's kind of like this thing that if they get too much in touch with water, the ice can crash and give you like an electric shock, which is why he and Lynn, like in raid scenes, they'll take off their eyes, usually because they don't want to get an electric shock.
Dad?
Yeah, that I thought it was really cute. You can't maybe see it because of the bar over here, but he basically, his eye was on the ground and he just kind of dives onto it, and then it's back on his face. I just thought it was kind of funny. I used to be so proud of that animation. Yeah, so as you can see, he's very dead. I think he moved again in compared to when we last saw his body. Maybe he's like a zombie or something. The waffle on the ground used to be like a running gag. His name was Willy Awful, and he was kind of like supposed to be like a running gag throughout the series to appear in backgrounds. But they ditched him eventually. But if you sometimes see like a waffle pop up in the background, that's why.
Now that you can go run with the stars, you have to take care for me, Dad.
Here you can see the tail definitely moved compared to how he was first. I don't know, I just think it's kind of funny that his dad's body keeps moving. And this is actually one of the first instances of like an actually drawn background in the series. Very rare. There's like a green screening error in his eyes, so you can like see the tree through it. Another thing that's kind of like, that's for the second edit of All at Once, because everything that's on YouTube right now is the second edit. The original cut of most episodes has been lost to time, but there used to be a thing in the original version of the episodes where One Eye's eye, his cybernetic eye, sometimes kind of just malfunctions. Like, sometimes it wouldn't blink when his other eye would blink, and sometimes it would like like stare a bit off, or it would make a lot of noises even when blinking or just looking around. Each time it would be like with a mechanical noise. But I just couldn't find enough like noise effects that were royalty free to use for the re-edit, so I just decided to kind of ditch that idea. But in the very original episodes, episode 1 and 2, I believe, this type of a cyber eye actually makes like a lot of noises, even when blinking, looking around, because it's supposed to be kind of old and faulty, so that's why.
I'm sorry for you.
It's all my fault. I should have stayed in the den.
So yeah, Lynn has a lot of survivor's guilt going on. Poor girl.
Well, I'll be on my way.
Wait, sir!
Your blue eye.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he puts like his weapon directly under your chin. Like, that's kind of a risky move, dude. Oh well.
Starcoat, you're still only a pup. You don't have a mother or something? A pack?
Okay, so this whole thing, why doesn't Lynn have a mother or a pack? First of all, she doesn't have a pack because she's a lone one, and I don't think I ever quite made this difference 100% clear in the series, but basically lone ones are like wolves that kind of live in very small groups without like a real structure. That's what sets them apart and are usually a bit more aggressive and territorial. And then there are spec wolves who are like a little bit more tolerant and strictly organized. So that's the difference between the two. The thing with Lynn is that's never actually revealed in the series. Her father is a lone one. Her mother is a pack wolf. They originally were together, but after a while they just decided it didn't work out. So her mother left, went back to her pack, and took Lynn actually as brothers and sisters, 3 of them. Or brothers and a sister. So she went and took the 3 brothers and sister with her back to the pack. But Lynn was too weak to make the travel, so Norder, her father, was like, okay, we'll make a deal. You take the 3 pups and go back to your pack, and I will stay here and keep Lynn. And basically that's why he's a single father with Lynn. The others are still alive and are still out there. And originally I was going to do like an episode or a short story on them, but I don't ever think I will at this point. But that's just some fun behind the fact, behind the scenes trivia for you. So yeah, Lynn does have a mother, Lynn does have siblings. They are just not in the picture. And as far as she knows, they're dead. That's just what Nora told her to make her worry less. Like, she'd probably feel like very left out if mother and father or mother and siblings just kind of left her behind. So as far as she knows, they're dead. But yeah, mother and siblings are still alive.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, kid. I got to go. Duty's calling.
There's a reason why One Eye has such a very light voice. In our universe, like real world, the reason is that I couldn't find a voice actor with like a deep voice for him, which probably would have been more logical. So I gave him a much lighter voice. This is out of all the auditions I got, this is the one I like the most. But the reason is just I kind of came up is that he was neutered because, you know, kind of like that affects the voice. But if it's double for puberty and that, so that's why he sounds like that. I don't know why I decided to put that in my Wolf series of all things, but I don't know. That's why he has such a light voice, and why his voice is never deepened. In case you're wondering, that's just the in-universe explanation.
Sir, take me with you.
Okay, so in this shot, this moment where he's looking back, he's kind of supposed to do like the whole realization thing, like, oh dear, what have I done? I've screwed up big time. I've killed a lone one with a family. What do I do now? Do I leave the clan? So it's supposed to be like a really emotional moment for Daniel One Eye, but I just kind of have him look back and then look back at Lynn instantly and say yes, and I just don't think it came across very well, but this is supposed to be a very emotional moment for him, actually.
Well, fine, I guess.
So yeah, that was episode 1. Alright, so that was episode 1. I still think it's quite bad, but you know, for what it is, first episode, I had no script or really whatever going in. I just first animated everything, and only after that did I start writing the script and even like the overall story for the series, at least the first draft. So as you can see, it's kind of a mess. All of it was done in MS Paint with like a few effects and the backgrounds, which were done differently. Another thing about the backgrounds, all backgrounds in Hollywood's pretty much the entire series are either taken by me, taken by a friend with permission to use them, or are public domain photos that you can just freely use. I have been actually, it was long ago, but someone actually once accused me of like stealing the background images off of Google. And like, no, I literally have rights to use all the pictures because I took like 90% of them myself. Like each year, me and my family would go to vacation in like Austria or at least the Alps. And my daily thing I was doing was just on every walk we went into the mountains, just take pictures of literally every tree and forest and meadow and whatever. Because I knew I wanted to use those for animation someday, and then when all the ones came around, I was like, hey, I finally have a use for those. That's also why the series is set in Austria, because most of the pictures were taken in Austria. There are actually a few photos that were taken in different locations, like a few, I believe, that were taken later down the line were done in Switzerland. I've got a few in Norway and a few in Canada. But 90% of pictures were just done by me and in Austria. So yeah, the backgrounds I do have permission to use, just to clear that up. I know you can easily pick pictures off of Google, but that's at least not what I did. So yeah, that's where I got my pictures. Just to clear that up. So yeah, this was the first episode. I hope you enjoyed this commentary, and yeah, I will see you next time, I hope, for the commentary on episode 2.